Welcome to the Mundus Fractura Lore Guide. This week on Lore Guide, we continue our look at the fantastical, yet mundane, fabrication materials of the planet. Let's jump right in. Bronzewood. This tree can be found growing in most saltwater coastal regions of the planet. It is a tree species similar to mangrove trees found here on Earth. When properly prepared by the hands of a master, the wood from this tree can actually be hammered and forged in a manner similar to steel. The resulting suits are half the weight of the same armor made from steel. Though not as durable as their metal counterparts, they are still widely used and frequently encountered in the coastal regions. Candy. Yes, I said candy. Though often used purely for novelty purposes in holidays, celebrations, and religious events. This material, which when crafted by masters, has an amazing hardness and can actually be used as functional armor and weapons. Though it must be said, the durability of such creations is sorely lacking, with destruction typically occurring on the first critical hit. Further, the pieces melt when exposed to rain, submersion in water, or heavy licking. Chitin. Though it holds no magic or psionic adjacent properties, these exoskeletal sections are widely used across the face of the planet to craft a wide array of unique and functional arms, armors, and tools. Dark wood and dark leaf, a strain of birch. The wood and leaves from this tree are often used to craft heavy arms and armors that function like steel at half the weight, but also half the durability. Dragonhide and bone. Though its harvest and use is frowned upon by all dragon kind, these materials are still widely used across the planet. The materials prove to be immune to the damage type related to the dragon type from which they were harvested. Ironwood and ironwood leaves. The materials gathered from these ancient extinct pseudo-petrified trees is rare and difficult to find in the wild as it is typically buried. These hardy trees do not petrify or fossilize like a normal tree. Instead, the tree undergoes a strange internal transformation which resists the process. The wood becomes hard as iron, and with skilled hands can be crafted into heavy armors and arms. The large 30 centimeter in diameter leaves are particularly unusual in that they do not, or rather did not, rot or decay. They are a leathery texture when found, and can be used as a natural bandage that immediately staunches bleeding, imparting a very minor health boost. The leaves are said to disintegrate after use. Some attempts to grow a modern strain of the tree have been made with limited success. Livewood. These trees are a particularly hardy suckering tree found across the face of Mundus. When properly harvested, the wood remains living, and when crafted in the proper manner, arms and armors can be made from it. The resulting creations are self-mending and can never be destroyed. Razor rushes. These long, sharp swamp grasses can be processed into incredibly strong and durable linen cloth and clothes which can double as light armor. When carefully braided, razor rushes can make incredibly effective whip or flail weapons. Ruzuos moss. This silky soft tree moss can be knitted into clothing that can act as a kind of one-time self-activating medic. The moss-made clothing has the one-time ability to staunch bleeding and heal the wearer. Saxon sow. This strange gelatinous material is actually a byproduct of Jubilee births, a type of gelatinous residue that is discarded when the parent and child separate. When collected, it can condense itself and be stored in small vials for future use. When used, a vial may be uncorked, and the Saxon sow quickly spreads itself over the user. This thin gelatinous membrane remains intact for up to 8 hours, acting as a light armor and giving the wearer a temporary immunity to fire damage. After 8 hours, or when the fire immunity is expended, the membrane becomes inert and dries to a flaky white, useless film. Sugar whip, used extensively by the rat folk of Mundus. This plant is a modified form of sugar cane, which not only has an edible pulp, but makes for an excellent improvised slashing weapon with abilities like those of a rapier. Tall cones. These massive pine cones are used in a few ways. Firstly, the scales can be used to make a heavy plate mail armor, which actually grants a bonus to grappling, as opposed to the normal disadvantage heavy armors impart. The pine cone's scales are also frequently used as natural throwing knives, with the added benefit that the scales require no crafting or processing to be used. They simply need to be plucked and thrown. Each cone contains from 80 to 100 scales. Jan. This pink non-sentient fungus can either be made into a light armor or braided into a rope as strong as steel chain. In either case, while using this material, one is able to mentally communicate with anyone they can see. Uha, another non-sentient fungal material. It can easily be field-crafted into a heavy armor with little effort. Further, the fungal flesh fully sustains the wearer's need for food and water for up to 10 days. On the 11th day, the fungus degrades to a powder. Umbra wood. This wood can be crafted into a light or heavy armor of poor durability. The armor conveys a total immunity to light magic and psionic powers. It further negates all magical or psionic light within a 10-meter radius and dims natural light by 1 level in the area. When crafted into weapons of equally poor durability, it conveys a damage bonus in the form of shadow damage. Should the weapon be used against divine casters or divine agents, it deals double damage. And lastly, we have Voot. This aquatic bacterial floating mat can be crafted into a light armor. It has the added benefit of masking all odors emitted from the wearer, making them undetectable to predators who hunt by scent. The material can also be crafted into a net, which automatically grapples weak targets. That is all for this time. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. Stay tuned for future lore, guide shorts, and thank you for listening. Goodbye for now.